Mary Lindquist, and I'm the priest and pastor of St. Michael's Episcopal Church, which is right up there. And it's my honor and privilege to be part of this very important event as we remember and honor the lives of those in our small corner of the world who have been lost to COVID-19. We are here to acknowledge the sacredness of these lives and these deaths, and to acknowledge that our lives and our world are diminished by these losses. We will also be dedicating, the town of Brattleboro will be dedicating this tree in remembrance and honor of those who have been lost. We'll be hearing the beautiful music of Hallowell singers, and we will gather in remembrance, acknowledging this sacred time. So as we begin, I just invite you to maybe close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Fully arrive in this place. I'd like to welcome Patrick Moreland, the acting town manager, to come and say a few words.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming here today and taking a look at this lovely tree. I would like to start by saying thank you to a couple of folks, particularly members of the Tree Advisory Board and members of the compassionate community who kind of came together in collaboration to make this possible. We appreciate your cooperation, your collaboration, and I think this is a beautiful gesture. You know, when we think about those that have been lost to COVID-19, I think about the sort of full journey that has been the pandemic. I think back to 2020 when this all began and how little we knew of what was going on. We didn't really understand what COVID-19 was. We didn't understand how to protect ourselves. We didn't understand how to cure it or prevent it. We didn't know a whole lot. That was a pretty scary time as a community, and I'm sure for each and every one of us, it was just plain scary. But as people do, we began to learn. We began to recognize that COVID was less, on surfaces, and it was more in the air that we breathe. So we started wearing those masks because it's what we could do. And we didn't like it, but we did it anyway. And it helped. And eventually we started to figure out how we could do testing. So we figured out where COVID was and where it wasn't. And eventually we got vaccines, and we could actually begin to do something about that. But the pandemic will have lasting impacts on society that outlive each of us, I would imagine. Some for the good. I will actually say, I think the pandemic has helped us to understand how to better have public meetings. I know that may be a small point, but these hybrid virtual meetings allow people to better engage with their community. I think that's a positive thing. But of course, the big tragedy that is COVID-19 are the people that we've lost. There have been people lost in Brattleboro, in Vermont, and of course, all across the nation and all across the world. I will speak just personally. My mother died in April of 2020. She had cancer, and I knew that. But she went from being fine to being dead in like 8 days. And at the time, I didn't understand what had happened. I was living here, she was in California, and all of a sudden she was gone. And about a year later, I saw the death certificate, and what it said was severe pulmonary some sort of problem, right? I'm not a doctor, I don't remember what the word said, but it was all about her lungs. And as I recognized what I was looking at, she was probably one of the early victims of COVID-19. We just didn't know it at the time, right? She was immunocompromised. She probably was at the shopping center, picked it up. A week later, she was gone. So I'll never know that for sure, but I believe it. And the other thing I believe is that every day I walk past this tree, I'm going to think of her and I'm going to smile. So, thank you all. I think this is a beautiful thing.
We know that it's difficult to speak of loved ones who have died, and thank you so much for sharing those words. And we want to invite and welcome anyone here who may have lost someone to COVID-19 to speak at this time if you feel comfortable doing so. We also invite you, if you brought a picture of someone, to place it under the tree. Oh, please, come forward. Thank you. I was about to move on. Thank you for coming forward.
Well, this, I have a picture of my son. He was 31 years old, passed away in July of 2020. And it's a huge loss in my life, and my family's lives also. And he lived in Brooklyn, New York, where it was kind of the epicenter of COVID at the time. And so this is him, and ways to describe him. I have to thank hospice for all of their help too. So I was grateful to have, I am grateful to have hospice in this community and all that they did for me. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We want to sing with you a song from Nigeria. Ishe Oluwa. Everybody say that. Ishe Oluwa. Kole Bajeo. Kole Bajeo. Ishe Oluwa. Ishe Oluwa. Kole Bajeo. Kole Bajeo. Ishe Oluwa Kole Bajeo. Ishe Oluwa Kole Bajeo. It's a chant. It's repeated. You just sing any note that comes to you, and I can guarantee you, as your choir director, it will be the correct note.
Let's move forward.
It means, thank you. It means God's work will never be undone. Let's all say that. God's work will never be undone.
I'm not sure if everyone heard Marco's mother speaking. She doesn't have as loud a voice as I have. But one of the things she mentioned was how very important the work of Brattleboro Area Hospice has been to her in her grieving and healing. And I'd like to invite Lars Hunter, who is the bereavement coordinator at Brattleboro Area Hospice, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you all for coming today. Such an important event. Thank Compassionate Brattleboro and all of those who put this together. I really appreciate being asked to be here. I just want to talk a little bit about what happened in 2020. In March of 2020, we had to close the doors, as most places here did, and those of us who were the coordinators of programs took our programs home and tried to figure out how to continue services. It was only a few weeks after I was home that I started to receive calls from people who had lost people to COVID. It was so unexpected, so scary, as Patrick said. So difficult to wrap our minds around, and those who are grieving, their minds around. Because we've never seen this before. We've never heard of this before. This affected people of all ages, as we see with Marco. Marco was not the only young person that died with a family member that came to seek help through us. People in their 20s, 30s, people who did not seem to be compromised, people who were older, who also seemed healthy, were gone. Gone in a matter of days, as Patrick so well explained, unfortunately. I also started to hear some of the stories about family members not being able to be with their loved ones when they died. And that was one of the most heart-wrenching things to listen to. People who had to say goodbye over the phone, on a computer or a tablet, through a window, people who couldn't get to their loved one and just didn't get a chance. So I just want to say, yes, things have gotten better. Here we are, we're gathered, we're singing, thank you. But please remember that although things have gotten better for many of us, those who lost someone, their grief is forever. And as you walk around the streets, please remember that everyone is carrying some kind of grief, and quite possibly the loss of someone to love. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Robert Clements of the Town Tree Board to come and dedicate the tree. And as I told Jim Levison, I didn't know we had a town tree board. So thank you for your service.
Robert Clements, a member of the Brattleboro Tree Advisory Board. Our mission is to take care of the town's trees. We're a volunteer board like Compassionate Brattleboro, and it's what makes living in Brattleboro important. The volunteerism builds a sense of community. A little bit about the tree. This is Halesia carolina. It's a silver bell. Silver bell. And the cultivar is Jersey bell. In the spring, it's smothered with white bell flowers. And if you get a chance afterwards, if you come up, you can see how the seed pods, how many flowers were on this tree. In the fall, these leaves will turn to yellow tones. They're not particularly fancy like sugar maples or anything like that, but it has a nice mellow yellow to it. We, the board, are pleased to have been able to collaborate with Compassion of Brattleboro, and this is a good one. It's a good symbol.
We're going to sing a song by David Dotson called Farthest Field, and I'm going to sing you the first, I'm just going to tell you the first verse and the chorus. And if anybody knows it, of course, you're welcome to sing along. First verse and chorus. There is a land high on a hill where I am going. There is a voice that calls to me. The air is sweet, the grass is wave, the wind is blowing away up in the farthest field. Oh, walk with me and we will see the mystery revealed when one day we wend our way up to the farthest field. Let's all take 2 steps forward.
thank you to the Brattleboro Tree Board for this amazing tree and for all of you who've come together for this very special and sacred occasion. I'm going to do a final blessing and then anyone who's lost a loved one is invited to come and be photographed with the tree if you would like to. Life is short and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel the way with us. So make haste to love and be quick to be kind. And the blessing of God be with you this day and forever. Amen.